What if the very drops you squeezed into your eyes today are silently orchestrating the permanent death of your vision? The $46 billion medical empire is banking on your blindness, but a hidden $1 grocery secret can rebuild your sight. Watch until the absolute end. This will change everything. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world is fading into a blurry, irreversible gray, not because of age, but because you trusted the wrong bottle in your medicine cabinet. What if the very drops you squeezed into your eyes today to make them look bright and clear are silently orchestrating the death of your vision? At Healthy Aging US warmly welcomes you to a revelation that the medical establishment desperately hopes you never see. And before we dive deep into this rabbit hole, please take a second to subscribe to our channel right now, as your support is the sole heartbeat that empowers us to keep producing these life-saving videos for you. Now, hold on to that thought, because I am going to give you a promise that will shatter everything you thought you knew about aging. Imagine being able to reverse the aging of your retinal blood vessels, regenerate your decaying retinal pigment epithelium, and absolutely crush your risk of macular degeneration. Not through debilitating laser surgeries or the terrifying nightmare of getting needles injected directly into your eyeballs, but through a biochemical system reset achievable in the next 6 weeks for less than $1 a day, using foods found right in the aisles of your local grocery store. You have never heard of this profound biological blueprint because it is a direct, existential threat to a massive, shadowy corner of the $46 billion eye care industry, an empire built entirely on the lucrative model of symptom maintenance rather than the cure of the root cause. Think of your body, and specifically your delicate eyes, as a fish tank. When the fish gets sick because the water is heavily polluted with toxins, modern medicine desperately tries to paint medicine onto the scales of the dying fish, rather than doing the one profoundly logical thing, which is cleaning the toxic water. Let us look at the most tragic example sitting in the medicine cabinets of millions of homes right now. Over-the-counter, fast-acting redness relief eye drops. The devastating truth is that you are paying your hard-earned money to slowly blind yourself, as rigorous clinical studies, including those published in the esteemed medical journal Cornea, have exposed that the most common preservative lurking inside these tiny bottles, benzalkonium chloride, or BAK, is a ruthless cytotoxic agent that actively obliterates cellular membranes. When you drop this chemical into your eyes for the fleeting illusion of a crystal-clear gaze, BAK is silently triggering apoptosis, the programmed suicide of your corneal epithelial cells, mercilessly stripping away your natural protective mucous membrane, evaporating your tear film, and locking you into an agonizing, irreversible cycle of chronic dry eye syndrome where you are quite literally fighting a fire by pouring acid on it. It is time we stop slapping cheap bandages over a bursting pipe and intervene at the foundational DNA blueprint of cellular repair. So if you are finally ready to abandon these temporary destructive illusions and passionately protect your precious eyesight well into your 80s and 90s, leave the comment "Clear Vision" down below right now. An act of defiance that will fracture the algorithm and help us spread this urgent biological truth to millions of older adults who are unwittingly destroying their eyes every single day. Leaving behind the toxic, temporary fixes of the pharmacy aisle, we must now confront the real, invisible thief that is systematically stealing your sight from the inside out. For decades, the medical establishment has conditioned us to accept failing vision as a tragic, yet entirely unavoidable consequence of simply getting older. But this is a masterful deception designed to keep you tethered to a system of managing decline. When I watched my own grandfather lose his ability to read his favorite books, recognize the faces of his grandchildren across the room, and eventually surrender his driver's license, I was told it was just the inevitable wear and tear of time. My heartbreak turned to absolute fury when I uncovered the biological truth. His eyes were not just wearing out, they were suffocating on a cellular level. Your retina is the most metabolically demanding tissue in your entire body, requiring a massive, constant influx of oxygen and nutrients delivered through a fragile, intricate, microscopic web of capillaries. Modern life, however, launches a relentless two-front biochemical assault on this delicate infrastructure. On one side, we are constantly bombarded by high-energy artificial blue light from our screens, which penetrates deep into the macula and generates highly reactive singlet oxygen, free radicals that act like microscopic shrapnel, tearing apart the lipid membranes of your photoreceptor cells. On the other side, the hyper-processed, inflammatory standard American diet causes your micro blood vessels to stiffen, narrow, and eventually collapse. As these tiny supply lines wither, your eye is robbed of its critical oxygen supply, leading to a localized state of starvation known as hypoxia. In a desperate attempt to survive, the eye tries to grow new, abnormal blood vessels, a chaotic process that results in the devastating fluid leaks and scarring characteristic of wet macular degeneration. Meanwhile, cellular waste products, specifically a toxic sludge called lipofuscin, begin to accumulate in the retinal pigment epithelium because the starved cells no longer have the energy to clean house. This toxic garbage slowly suffocates the macula, literally blinding you from the center of your vision outward. The tragedy is that this agonizing decline is entirely preventable, and the agonizing truth is that the eye care industry knows exactly how this mechanism works. Yet they wait until your vessels are leaking and your vision is profoundly compromised to intervene with agonizing, astronomically expensive intraocular injections that only temporarily pause the bleeding. They wait for the fish tank to become utterly toxic before taking action. But what if you could intercept this catastrophic chain reaction long before the first blood vessel ever collapses? Yet, just as a starving, besieged city can be saved by a heavily guarded supply convoy, your eyes possess a hidden biological gateway waiting for the exact right molecular key to trigger a massive cellular rescue. Nature has engineered a highly selective security checkpoint known as the blood-retinal barrier, a fortress designed to keep pathogens out of your brain and eyes. But this barrier is notoriously difficult to penetrate, which is precisely why taking generic, cheaply manufactured synthetic vision supplements is nothing more than flushing your money down the drain. The medical industry laughs at nutritional interventions because they test poorly formulated, isolated synthetic vitamins that never actually reach the ocular tissue. However, there is a very specific, deeply profound molecular defense system that this barrier actively invites inside. A trinity of potent, naturally occurring macular carotenoids known as lutein, zeaxanthin, and mesozeaxanthin, alongside the king of all antioxidants, astaxanthin. When I first read the independent clinical data on these compounds, I felt a profound sense of awe at the elegance of human biology. These molecules do not just float aimlessly in your bloodstream, they possess a specific chemical affinity for your eye tissue, traveling directly into the macula where they physically embed themselves into the membranes of your photoreceptor cells. Once there, they perform a miraculous dual function. First, they act as literal internal sunglasses, absorbing the destructive high-energy blue light before it can ever strike your fragile rods and cones, effectively neutralizing the radiation of our modern screen-obsessed world. Secondly, they hunt down and extinguish the singlet oxygen-free radicals that are creating that toxic lipofuscin sludge, halting the process of cellular suffocation in its tracks. Astaxanthin, in particular, is uniquely capable of crossing both the blood-brain and blood-retinal barriers, where it drastically reduces vascular inflammation and restores the flexibility of those microscopic capillaries, turning the oxygen supply back on for your starving retinal tissue. This is not symptom management. This is a profound biological reversal at the deepest cellular level. You are not just stopping the damage, you are providing the exact architectural scaffolding your retinal pigment epithelium needs to clear out the toxic waste and begin regenerating itself. The realization that we possess the biochemical power to rebuild our vision from the inside out is nothing short of revolutionary. But knowing these nutrients exist is only half the battle. Unlocking this heavily guarded barrier does not require a prescription pad, but rather a masterclass in biochemical food pairing that you can flawlessly execute on your very next trip to the supermarket. The greatest secret the pharmaceutical industry keeps from you is that the most powerful vision-restoring medicine on Earth is heavily subsidized, widely available, and sitting right in the produce and seafood sections of your local grocery store, waiting to be properly activated. It is not enough to simply eat a plate of raw spinach and hope for the best. These miraculous macular carotenoids are fat-soluble, meaning that if you consume them without the correct biological vehicle, they will simply pass through your digestive tract unabsorbed, leaving your eyes completely unprotected. To achieve the 6-week biochemical reset, you must harness the power of lipid pairing synergy. Imagine building your daily protocol around a foundation of dark, leafy greens like kale, Swiss chard, and spinach, which are bursting with bioavailable lutein and zeaxanthin. To unlock these nutrients, you must dramatically increase their absorption by combining them with high-quality, anti-inflammatory dietary fats. Think of a pasture-raised egg. The bright orange yolk is not only nature's most perfectly packaged source of bioavailable lutein, but it contains the exact lipid profile required to shuttle these antioxidants directly across your intestinal wall and into your bloodstream. For less than $1 a day, you can create a metabolic super meal, a gentle sauté of kale in extra virgin olive oil topped with 2 pasture-raised eggs. Add to this the staggering power of wild-caught Alaskan salmon or sardines just twice a week. These omega-3-rich powerhouses provide high doses of DHA, a structural fat that literally makes up over half of your retina's photoreceptor cell membranes, alongside naturally occurring astaxanthin. When you flood your system with this perfectly paired, fat-soluble matrix, you are sending a highly escorted convoy of building blocks directly past the blood-retinal barrier. Within days, the localized inflammation in your microcapillaries begins to subside. Within weeks, the density of your macular pigment physically increases, thickening your protective shield against blue light and oxidative stress. You do not need a $40 bottle of synthetic pills with a proprietary blend of useless fillers. You need the profound, ancient intelligence of whole foods, combined strategically to force a systemic ocular regeneration. This is the ultimate rebellion against a medical system that wants you dependent and deteriorating. As these vital, carefully paired nutrients begin to rebuild your ocular foundation week by week, the fearful narrative of inevitable decline is rapidly replaced by the breathtaking reality of visual restoration. Imagine the profound emotional shift of waking up in the 6th week of this protocol and noticing that the persistent, agonizing, dry scratchiness in your eyes has vanished, replaced by a natural, healthy tear film restored by lowered systemic inflammation. Picture yourself driving at night without the terrifying, blinding halos of oncoming headlights paralyzing you with fear, because your newly fortified macular pigment is finally filtering light exactly as nature intended. There is an indescribable joy in sitting across from your loved ones at a dimly lit restaurant and effortlessly reading the menu without instinctively reaching for those frustrating reading glasses. Or looking at your grandchild and seeing the crisp, vivid details of their smile, rather than a blurry, muted shape. This is about so much more than just the mechanical function of your eyes. It is about reclaiming your independence, your confidence, and your unalienable right to experience the vibrant beauty of this world entirely on your own terms. We no longer have to live in fear of the eye doctor's ominous warnings, dreading the day we are told we need a needle injected into our eye just to buy a few more months of fading sight. By taking absolute control of your biochemical environment through these simple, affordable grocery store protocols, you are effectively stepping out of the victim role and becoming the absolute master of your own aging process. The $46 billion eye care empire relies entirely on your ignorance, your fear, and your passive acceptance of their temporary, destructive bandages. Today, you have the knowledge to cut the cord. If you felt the truth in these words and are ready to take your vision into your own hands, please share this video with every single person you know who is struggling with their eyesight. Hit that subscribe button to join our movement at Healthy Aging US. And never forget that the power to heal has always been right there inside of you. The narrative of inevitable visual decline is one of the most profitable deceptions of modern medicine, designed to keep you dependent on expensive, reactive treatments that merely manage your deterioration. As we have uncovered, failing eyesight is not just a symptom of aging. It is a direct result of cellular suffocation caused by blue light toxicity and chronic nutrient starvation. However, you possess the profound biological power to halt and reverse this damage. By understanding the highly selective blood-retinal barrier, you can bypass synthetic, poorly absorbed supplements and utilize the biochemical intelligence of whole foods. The secret lies in lipid-pairing synergy, combining potent, fat-soluble macular carotenoids found in dark, leafy greens and pasture-raised eggs with high-quality fats like extra virgin olive oil and omega-3-rich wild-caught salmon. This incredibly affordable, science-backed approach delivers the exact molecular scaffolding your eyes need to extinguish free radicals, rebuild the protective macular pigment, and restore the vital oxygen supply to your retinas. True healing does not come from a prescription pad or a painful intraocular injection, but from the intentional, daily choices you make in the grocery store aisles. You have the ability to step out of the shadows of fear and reclaim your visual independence. The power to regenerate your sight, maintain your confidence, and experience the vivid beauty of the world on your own terms is completely within your control. The deepest takeaway is that the human body is brilliantly engineered to heal itself. But nature's remedies require synergy to work. We have been conditioned to look for isolated magic bullets or synthetic cures. Yet true cellular regeneration relies on the harmonious pairing of nutrients. Furthermore, aging is not synonymous with inevitable decay. Much of what we accept as the normal wear and tear of getting older is actually cumulative cellular starvation that we have the power to intercept. Stop treating food as mere calories and start viewing it as precise biochemical instructions for your cells. Tomorrow, skip the supplement aisle and head straight to the produce section. Start your day by gently sautéing spinach or kale in extra virgin olive oil paired with pasture-raised eggs, making sure to consume the yolks. Commit to incorporating wild-caught fatty fish into your diet twice a week. Shift your mindset from being a passive patient waiting for a diagnosis to becoming the active architect of your own longevity. Which of these vision-boosting foods, dark leafy greens, pasture-raised eggs, or wild-caught salmon, are you going to add to your meals this week? Please share your thoughts and meal ideas in the comments section below so our community can learn from and inspire one another. If you found this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel. It gives us the motivation to keep creating more life-changing health content for you.